A lot of them are self-explanatory, but you can toggle over the question mark if you need some additional information. So for example, company setup. That's this whole setup area that we're doing today. You just have the ability to say, can they see company setup or not? Supervisor, this one is interesting, and I feel like it gets missed sometimes. If supervisor is toggled to yes, then this person, if they're not an administrator, can see work orders, proposals, and calendar appointments. I do run into users sometimes thinking they have all the work order permissions down below. Why can't they see appointments in the calendar? Well, it's because they're not a supervisor. They can only see their own if this is toggled to no. Does that make sense? So toggle to no means that they're only going to be able to see their own calendar appointments in the calendar. Toggle to yes, then they can see all technicians' appointments, all work orders, and all proposals. Okay. User administration. This is another user administration to be able to add all users and make role groups here. Deliver all is to be able to deliver and mark as printed invoices and credits. Financial reporting. Be able to see financial information, your general ledger and financial reporting here. I'm not going to go through all of them unless you guys want me to, but I'll just point out some key ones that I think are important. Keep in mind also for Sedona X, these permissions work for Sedona X, but not everything is in Sedona X. So if we have Sedona X toggled to yes, there is no inventory. In Sedona X, there are no reporting. So even if this is toggled on, they're not going to be able to see reports in Sedona X. And we do have another training on that as well further down here. If they have inventory activated, they are able to do a physical inventory count. If that is toggled, a manager can see inventory for all of the warehouses. And manage all the inventory. Quick add is adding a new part on the fly to a proposal and a work order. So that may be something you would want certain people to do. Keep in mind that parts do have general ledger accounts that need to be chosen. And read only is they can only see the inventory. They can't make changes. Your reports are in this report section here, and there are financial reports, which are your AR, your general ledger, and AP reports. And then there are general reports, which are more like customer-based reporting, tech times, things like that. And so I have each report where you can say whether or not the user can see them. Invoices, credits, pretty standard view. Can they add one? Can they edit one? Can they delete one? View, add, edit, delete. Credit memos, can they apply or unapply? And that is where a credit memo would have to be approved by a manager before it's applied to an invoice. All right. We have the customer here, view, add, edit, delete, contracts, late fees, if late fees can be added, site information. The external link would be an integration with the central station. System information, reoccurring, can they generate a reoccurring in batches? Can they do a rate change? Documents, can they download a document, add, edit, or delete? Payments, view, add, edit, can they submit payments? That's credit card and e-check transactions through Forte. Can they submit all? That's a batch of them. Can they create a refund? Payment methods are adding a credit card or a bank account to a customer for Forte. And then work orders, a lot here. Can they view, add, edit, delete, hide pricing? And I do see a lot of our customers want to hide the pricing of what the work order price will be from their technicians. So if that's the case, that should be toggled on. This is another one that should work with Sedona X, and that's prevent completion, where a work order cannot be completed. And when it's completed, that means it would be billed out and closed. So many of our customers may not want the technicians creating the invoices in the field, And if that's the case, that should be toggled to yes. One other thing I want to mention that some of our customers I see may get a little confused is this hide pricing is actually opposite, right? If you want to hide pricing, we're turning that to yes. If you do not want to hide pricing, we'll leave that to no. I have some customers I've seen go in here and toggle everything to yes. They want to give their employee access to work orders completely, but it's actually then if they're toggling hide pricing and hide cost and part cost to yes, now that employee is missing those fields. Does that make sense? Questions on that? Okay. Timesheet. So yeah, hide pricing, hide cost, and hide part cost. If you don't want your technician or your user to be able to see those cost and pricing, you would turn them to yes. Timesheets, the next ones down below, that can have burden rates and labor rates associated with them. Burden cost is able to be put under an employee for job costing. So you do want to be mindful who you're going to give access to that. You can hide the labor rates here too, if you'd like. And again, to hide it, that would be toggled to yes. Commissions, another area that many of our customers don't want all of their employees to see. Can they view commissions? Can they edit commissions? So be mindful of that one too. And then can they create a progress invoice, view a progress invoice, and create change orders? And job costing, that's the profitability of the work order. How profitable is the work order? Estimated cost, but it should also be actual there. So do we want our user to be able to see that information? Mm-hmm. Proposals down here, view, add, edit. Again, do we want to hide the cost on the proposal? That's an estimated cost. Do we want to hide the estimated commission on a proposal? And rate edit restriction, you may have some people where you set default rates and you don't want your salespeople or whomever is creating the proposal to adjust those rates. If you do not want them to adjust the rates on the items and the parts, then you would toggle rate edit restriction to yes. Reoccurring work orders, so that would be like inspections where you're setting up maybe to do an inspection every quarter, being able to view them, add a new one, edit, delete, and generation. And we'll go over this when we go over work orders. Can they see statements? Can they see employees? In attendance, custom forms are the e-forms, which are the templates and forms over here, and sales automation is the estimator in the proposal. Time and attendance right now is in beta, but when it's not, or if you have a customer doing beta testing, if you toggle time and attendance, if they're a pay group manager, then they can see all of the pay periods and the clock in and out for the employee underneath their department. There are departments that need to be set up and pay groups that need to be set up, and then they are able to see the employees underneath those pay groups. Can they export the payroll? Can they edit a shift? And should we hide employee rates? Custom forms are the e-forms, the templates and forms over here. Designing a form is actually creating a template, deleting a form, deleting that template. Interactive form is the ability to fill out and sign the form. eForms Manager, if that is toggled to yes, that means that they can see all of the eForms, not just their own, that are in Managely. If this is toggled to no, then they can only see their own forms, the forms they are sending to customers and prospects. And send forms. We have accounts payable here, purchase orders, accounting period setup, that comes from Sedona. Setting up accounting periods, which we'll take a look at, and can they manage those accounting periods, open them and close them. General ledger, Sales automation, if sales department manager is toggled to yes, they would be able to see leads and proposals for everyone under their department in sales. If it's toggled to no, then they can only see their own leads and their own proposals. And there is a collections module. And if that's toggled to yes, that's underneath accounts receivable.